Hey y'all, this is the Duchess of Wolves with my follow-up to the domestic violence series that I'm doing on my blog. Today's entry actually has to do with manipulation, deception, fear, kind of different kinds of tactics that abusers use to keep their victims in place or have them to return if they choose to leave. I won't go into too much detail on this video about it. It's all kind of laid out there for you in the blog that you can read. It's one of the things that I wanted people to be aware of because it's really easy to tell someone, why don't you just, leave, just get a divorce, just walk away. It's easy to say those things when you're unaware of what's actually going on in the background of an abusive relationship. First and foremost, deception almost always takes center stage. The abuser himself lives two different lives. The one at home where he treats his family or his partner in an abusive manner, the true self, I guess you could say. And then his public appearance, in which he comes across as being the most loving, caring, compassionate person who is a stand-up guy in the community, which is serves two purposes. One, it raises his confidence in the community, and people support him, and they will look at him as being a pillar of strength and greatness, if you will. And the other thing that it does is it tears down the victim's ability to find help, because he has such a good rapport with people in the community. The chances of an abused spouse or partner finding help when they go to these places is tarnished and diminished because of his reputation, is basically what it boils down to. And from experience, I can tell you that that's exactly what happened with me. My ex had an outstanding reputation at work. His coworkers would tell me how lucky I was, how much he talked about how much he loved me and the children, and how fantastic husband he must be, and they had no idea what was going on in the background. It was just a portrayal for him to look good in front of other people. When everything finally did come out, and I started to try to get help for what was going on, my situation was very diminished. I was looked at as a liar, even though I brought in actual proof of the things that he had been doing. People still didn't want to believe it. Another technique that abusers use is manipulation. They're very good at what they do. They can find ways to make you cut yourself off from family and friends. They will find ways to make you think you're doing it for your benefit. Find something wrong with somebody and tell you that it's going to wind up harming you in the long run, whatever. I lost a lot of friends over the years, falling prey to that kind of technique. The other thing is when you try to leave, there's other ways of deception and manipulation that are used. My ex went out of his way to try to make me think he was going to commit suicide, told me it would be my fault, and was quite upset when I told him if that's what he wanted, he should just go ahead and do it. He told me that I was very cold-hearted, and I told him that I knew that he wasn't going to do it. It was a ploy to make me stay, and it wasn't going to work. At this point, he had lost all control over me and was having a very, very difficult time dealing with it, to the point where he did attempt to break into the house when I was here by myself and the kids were visiting with my parents. So it was a very scary time for me. I still worry. That won't ever stop, I guess, about what's in store and what's waiting around the corner, so to speak. You just never know what people are capable of. You might think you do, but you just really don't ever know. Anyways, the other things that a lot of abused people go through is the fact that they are isolated. Job opportunities are limited as it is. And when you've been out of work for a while and your self-esteem has been completely eroded and you have been taught to believe that you have absolutely no usable qualities, it is very hard for you to go out and attempt to find work. To make that step to even walk out the door sometimes is incredibly terrifying, because you don't you don't have the skill set, you don't have the mindset to deal with life. And that's one of the things that happens is over time, you get broke down into a shell of who you were, and it's very hard to find yourself again and where you belong and what you want to do. It's something that takes a long time to work on. I'm still working on it. I've come a long way from where I was, but I'm definitely not where I want to be or where I should be. One of the other things that people don't take into consideration also is when children are involved, they become a pawn. Definitely the case in my situation. My ex made it clear, like I said, that he was going to do whatever he could to get the kids and take them from me. He does have visitation, which he makes absolutely miserable for the kids and interrogates them about my whereabouts, what I do, who I do things with, who I talk to. It's very hard, very difficult. I don't have privacy. I don't know what conversations are being listened into, and that's another whole long story about my situation. My ex was tracking me through the bank accounts, knowing exactly where I went if I did leave the house and how much I spend. If I spent a couple of dollars on a gallon of milk, he would call me and cuss me out in front of my parents, even when I was living back home. Anyways, I hope you take the time to read through the different tactics that are used, and hopefully it'll help you to understand why a lot of women just can't get up and leave, why it isn't such a simple option that it sounds like it should be. And I hope that some of you will kind of learn from that and refrain from talking to someone that is entrusting you with their situation, from you telling them to just get up and leave, because it isn't that simple. And there needs to be things in place and a course of action and a plan for them to actually leave and be successful and succeed and do it safely. One of the most dangerous times in an abusive relationship is when the woman decides that she is leaving. A lot of times that is when the violence escalates and turns deadly. So, I just want y'all to keep that in mind. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me by commenting below, or if you follow me on Sue, which you can sign up for below as well, you're welcome to send me a PM, and I'll be happy to answer anything that I can. Thanks. Y'all have a blessed day.